I met a gypsy.
I think that's hurts our sport a little bit, and not every guy has their own platform. So I think that's something that can be improved, and that's why I enjoy this stuff. I've always thought about having like my own podcast, and obviously it's hard to do because you have to put a lot of effort, obviously you have to put a lot of effort into something that you want to be good, and I don't have that kind of time right now. But I love to get on and try and tell my story, and I think a lot of the guys that I race and a lot of guys in the sport have really good stories to tell as well. So the more that can get out there and the more that people see that, I think it's only a positive for our sport.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think that there's like an element of, it seemed like for me anyway, that people were like just waiting for the sport to blow up.
I agree.
You go like, yeah, this is super cool. And it's like people were just like waiting and just doing the same shit over and over and over and over, and not really like looking outside at other sports. And, people criticize me for always trying to compare it to the UFC. And it's like, well, they sold the UFC for $5 billion. Like Mark Wahlberg is there every weekend. Shaq is there every weekend. Like it's got this attraction to these people. And it's like, there's no difference to that to what our sport is. You know what I mean? Like that, obviously the sport is different, but it's like same great personalities. It's an exciting like action sport. You can get really close to the action. There's so many kind of similarities, but it's just like people have to, like you said, uncommon amongst uncommon people. Like we got to start doing some uncommon shit, and I think that's why Jet's doing so great. It's like he's really taken some risks with this shit. And, the Deegans with their YouTube channel, like that's a risk to do that. Like to follow a kid around for his entire life and to be so ingrained in that world. But it's like, I think that, for a lot of times people were just like hoping that the sport would get bigger and just like waiting for someone else to do it. And it's just like, why not? Like, why can't I have a podcast that millions of people listen to that get them excited to watch races and go to races and be a part of the sport? And why can't writers come on and swear and fucking carry on and talk about partying? Or like, why is that not okay? Like Dana White literally tells journalists, like they ask him a question and then he says, fuck off. If he doesn't want to answer the question, it's not like everyone has to do that, but it's like, what are these rules that we're following? Like who made these rules? Who said these rules are what we need to do? Who said that we need to follow the same way that it's always like? I don't understand where this has kind of come from. And I think that, we're sort of starting to like see that a little bit now. People are just kind of being okay with dipping out of that, that standard deal. And it's like, people should just lean into who they are and who they want to be.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, you watch post-game, post-race interviews from any sport. And one thing I like about NBA is like they can go on there and show their true colors. Like us, like we can't cuss on there. We get fined. Like we've been so trained to do this so black and white and not have a personality that it's kind of hindered us, I think, our sport in general, where I think a lot of other sports, you can have a little bit more color, a little bit more, I wouldn't say freedom, but you can I guess it is more freedom. You can do more. And I think just having more personality in general is a good thing. I think it can get out of control a little bit, but I think if you keep it obviously in a good spot and just give the fans what they want to see. I think at the end of the day, people want to be more connected to obviously the athlete and I guess have just more insight on what they do. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing. And you want to follow somebody with a personality as well. And then it's hard to show people that because you feel like you're going to get, especially nowadays. I mean, cancel culture is real. Like I can get loose. Like if I start going off the deep end, I can get stuff that just would not go over well with modern day media. So you have to kind of control yourself, but you have to let loose enough to be able to just show a personality, because so many people nowadays, you see so many sports figures and people that are so black and white, and it's just boring. And I think that is some of what has hindered us a little bit as a sport in general.
So do you legitimately get fined if you cuss?
Yeah, you're supposed to. I haven't tested it out, but you are supposed to get fined if you
Test
cuss
it
on
right now. Wait. Actually, how
no,
much
you have
is
to
the
do it.
fine?
You have to do it on
Do
the
you know?
you have to do it on the podium, I think, or a post race.
Okay.
Dude, I want to say it's something stupid. I want to say it's like $2,000 or $2,000. I think they say it in the riders meeting.
I will pay your fine. If you ever decide that you want to cuss on the podium, I'll pay your fine. If it's $1,000, if it's $2,000, I'll pay your fine.
If I
deal handshake on it right now.
If I cuss once, it's gonna be bad because I'm gonna if I'm that mad to cuss on the podium, I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna lose. That's not gonna be good. I'm gonna have 7 fines because they're probably gonna add them up on how many cuss words I say. But
I'll pay 1.
Yeah, you'll pay 1, then I'll get someone else to pay the other one. But no, I don't know. It's just you're paid to be such. You don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think a lot of people are so nervous on saying the wrong thing a lot of the times, and I think that's a lot of what our sport tries to teach is trying to be right for the media and not show any personality, and it tends to hurt us. And I enjoy doing stuff like this where you can actually have a conversation with somebody and get more in depth because I think a lot of it is as well as it's all surface. Everyone sees you on race day, and it's all surface stuff. No one gets in depth stuff. Like no one talks about their families, what they grew up doing, where they came from. I mean, it's all surface stuff on race. How was your race? How was this? How was that? Why'd you do so shitty? Or why was it good? It's the same questions every weekend, and I feel bad for the media too because they can't. I feel like they are so used to putting that stuff out there. They're feeling if they do something different, it's just wrong. So.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.